Hey, kaymade-tech here again. How are you doing? Awesome. So, what's happening is that we will be, now that we have the entire our virtual machines up and running, now that we do have a home cyber lab, what do we do with this? That's where we are at now. So, I am powering up all my virtual machines. As you can see, they're all powered up. Like I said, this is just for installation purposes. I will be moving after this last video to my home lab. Okay, I already created this sets of series of video on how to install, but the juicy stuffs will be done on my home lab. Okay, so the first thing we need to do here is we need to go into pfSense. Remember, pfSense is a firewall. pfSense software is a stateful firewall, which means it remembers information about connection flowing through the firewall so that it can automatically allow replies. What does that mean? So, like a handshake or a phone call, if you call somebody, that's let's assume you have, yeah, can I use that? But it's like somebody doesn't have your number, right? You have his number. You have his number saved. And I have your number saved as Bob, but Bob doesn't have my number. I call Bob, and Bob doesn't pick up the phone. And normally I have blocked all calls coming from anybody that does not have my number, that doesn't have my number, right? So in this instance, Bob didn't have my number. So on a good day, if Bob called me first, it gets blocked. However, what stateful firewall here means is that the fact that I call out Bob first, I have Bob's number saved. I called him out. I mean, rather, I made a phone call to him. He misses my call, then calls me back. So I have what we call an automatic block to anybody that I don't have their number saved, right? So in an instant, if I don't have Bob's number saved and Bob gives me a call, what happens is that it goes straight to my block, my voicemail. It doesn't ring at all. All right. However, because I have called Bob and I have Bob's number saved, though Bob doesn't have my number saved, once Bob calls me, it rings. So that's what is happening here. So if so basically what I'm trying to say here is that the firewall has some default rules. Some default rules. I'm talking of the pfSense firewall. The rules states that if every outgoing call from the WAN, that's the wide area network, every incoming call is blocked. Every incoming call from the WAN is blocked. But for the LAN, it allows every outgoing call. So what now happens that if the LAN makes an outgoing call to the website for inside, the WAN allows the website to respond. But on a good day, the website can't just be connected to the WAN without prior communication. So it's like you can only respond, but you can't reach out to me first. That kind of way. Okay, so we have all the machines running. So we have this is the pfSense. Let me enlarge this a bit. Okay, that's it. So let me set it up to adjust to this. Then we have, this is the Ubuntu. So let me launch pfSense from Ubuntu. So basically what we're trying to do here is that, so there are some rules that we need to set. There are some rules we need to set. All right. Okay, so this is the pfSense. I just select that and I put in the username and password. Okay, I already auto saved it before. So the pfSense is a very good software, firewall software that you could do a lot of things with. But since the last time we installed it, I have not done anything. So the first thing I do, we can populate these places here. That's the dashboard. So we can increase it, we can add more information. So you just go here, you click on the plus sign. So what information do we want? Do we want the gateway? So you can click add. So it's going to add the gateway. Oh, okay, I don't need this information here, so I'm going to remove it. The services. So you can see it's added the gateway. So any information you don't want, you just cross the X mark there. So it has added this. Let's see. We can do traffic graphs. Okay. So it tells you the traffic that comes in, a graph of the traffic that comes in through the WAN and through the LAN. WAN wide area network, LAN local area network. So let's give it a minute here. All right, it's max. Let's try it again. Okay, so it should be coming there. I don't see it there anymore. All right, so firewall rules. Let's also put that in there. What other information? So I mean, you can play around with this and you put any. Oh, this is okay. So this firewall rules, as you can see, it allows communication from this to this, from this to this, and does not allow communication from that to that. All right, let me give it, where is traffic? All right. Yeah, I mean, something you, once you install, you need to play around with it to get a better understanding of it. All right, so we should have that there. Okay, so this is the traffic. So it just gives you the in and out. The blue is in and the this orange is out. This is WAN and this is LAN. So there's so much you could do with this. There's so much you can add to it, but just depends on you. So if we go here, we can go to the firewall system log, gives you information. If you click on firewall, it tells us all that has been happening within the firewall. So it says all these have been blocked. Some communications are blocked. That's where you see the red X. And what else can we? Dynamic view. All right. So all we just need to do is scroll all the way down to see the events of today. Oops, what did I press? Okay, so go here. All right. So these are the activities here, those that have been blocked and those that are. So if you notice that it allows traffic within the LAN. So let's go to the firewall. Okay. All right. All right. Mm, Give me a second. Okay. Just needed this to come back up. So this is the firewall. So what are the rules? We could create various rules. So this is the rule that says that it has blocked in all incoming traffic. Like I explained, it defaults to blocking all incoming traffics. It doesn't allow anything. Then that's for the WAN. Then for the LAN, it allows outgoing traffic, as you can see it here. So it allows us going to port 80. That's why we're able to go on to, remember that the pfSense is on port 80. How do we know that? Let's go here. Let me get into my, let me get, pull up my Kali Linux. Oops. All right, so pfSense is, so we just do sudo nmap pfSense 192.168.56.1. So let's just do this for the ports. P there stands for, we're searching for the port. So let's increase this a bit so you can see. All right, awesome. So it's going to tell us all the ports that are open. Port 80 being opened on the pfSense gives us access to the website, but in a on a secured way. So that's why we can only go into the website if we are on network 56. That's 192. If we're on the same subnet with it, that's 192.168.56.0/24. So that's the only way we can go into that website. For the, and that's the same thing with all with Metasploitable VM and OWASP BWA VM. We can only go in there because all those ports are open. And let me, while we're waiting for this, let's go here and I'll open all the ports. I'm going to open up the website for those various machines or VMs. So the first one is pfSense. Okay. This is open only because we have what we call port 80 opened. Then Metasploitable also. The IP address is, let me just go into their various virtual machines. Okay, this Metasploitable. All right, enter. Okay, so that's the IP address here, 22.192.168.56.122. So let's go back here, 192.168.56.122. All right, and the next and the last one is that's going to be the OWASP. All right, let's change this view to, let's adjust that to, okay. Oops, what did I do? Okay. All right, what did I do here? All right, let's, okay. Okay, it's asking me to log in. Oh, I thought I'd logged in. Root, root. And the password. All right, so that's been logged in also. Ifconfig. Okay, let's wait for it to done. All right, so I've logged that, but I know that IP. Okay, do I remember the IP? Okay, let me get back there. Okay. All right. View. What's the size of this? 200. Okay. All right. So that's the IP address is, as you can see, says you can access the web app as 192.168.56.105. So we have that information now. 192. Okay, 105. So this should be ready. So you see the port 80 is open. That's for HTTP. All these three runs on HTTP, and that's why it's open. And this is unsecured. That's why you see the red across the what is it called? Like a lock. Yep. So that port is open. If we do the same for all the other computers, all the other virtual machines, you will notice that it's because the ports are open. That is why we have access to. But this is going to be a lot because this particular computer, this particular virtual machine, that's the Metasploitable, does have a lot of ports open. So let me split this screen and open the other one here, sudo nmap 192.168.56.105-p. So, so we just give that a few minutes. And also, so this can open on anything. However, all right, so as you can see here, this is ready. Port 80 here is open. That's why we can get on the website within the same network. If you somebody outside can't go in here because you don't have the access to it because you're not on the same network with me, and that's the 192.168.56 dash dot 0/24. If you are not on that same network, there's no how you can connect to that, or you shouldn't. All right, so that's the reason why we are able to get onto the website. And like I said, this is HTTP, the unsecured um, access to the internet. So you see it here also, port 80. So wherever we have port 80 open, we have access to. Once you put in that IP address, once you have port 80 open, you're going to be able to get into their website. All right. So that is one. So what do we do with all this? So now that we have this, we can now go into the proper thing, the essence of having a home lab or a home server lab. The essence of having it is to have hands-on. Like for here, for instance, in here, you can learn how to do firewall configurations. You could, all you just need to do is, okay, if you want to add a rule, you click on add. And let's assume you want to allow, you leave it allow. If you want to block, you put block here. For instance, you want to block um, if you want to block the one from coming here. So if you do that, you won't have access to that. So it depends on what you want to block. You could block you getting onto the internet. You could block you doing one or two things that you don't want to do. Okay, let me see. All right. So this is for blocking. Okay, give me a second. I think my screen is too large, so I need to reduce it a bit so that we can have a feel of everything. So let me get this back to 125. Okay. All right. I still have. All right. So this is how it is. This is how it works. So this is the protocol. What protocol are we going to use? Do we want any? We can leave it as any. Um, the address family IPv4. We have the opportunity to change it to IPv6, or we can have the two plus IPv4 plus and IPv6. What else? Source IP. What does this mean? This means where is it coming from? So you could put single host and put in the IP address. That anything coming from this, you don't want it to, you are going to block it. Or you could put the LAN address. You could put the one address, whichever works for you. Then we have destination. Where does it go to? Where don't you, from here, I don't want to go here. So that means if you put, let's assume I put my Kali Linux address here, 192.168.56.103, I believe, and I don't want it to go to my Metasploitable 192.168.56.122. Also, let's assume I just want, so what it's saying is that there won't be any communication from here to here. So if I save this, for instance, this is block. So if I save this, for instance, it's going to ask me, am I sure that's what I want? If I say yes to that, then you're going to see here, you see that it's blocked. That means there won't be any communication between this and that. So that's how the firewall rule works. And if you want it, I'm just going to delete this. If you want this to allow, you just put in pass instead of block or reject. All right. Without further ado, I will go ahead to continue on my own lab. So basically, this is just what you're going to get now that you have a home lab installed and for configured. We now go into the juicy part. Again, thank you for watching this video with me, and I hope I'll see you in the next video.